evening. It's a great honor to read on behalf of Edward O. Wilson, and I'm going to read a bit of chapter 3, which is on a theme that John Lahr spoke about earlier this evening, the theme of the struggle between self-interest and self-sacrifice. Chapter 3, Evolution and Our Inner Conflict. Are human beings intrinsically good but corruptible by the forces of evil, or the reverse, innately sinful yet redeemable by the forces of good? Are we built to pledge our lives to a group, even to the risk of death, or the opposite, built to place ourselves and our families above all else? Scientific evidence, a good part of it accumulated during the past 20 years, suggests that we are both of these things simultaneously. Each of us is inherently conflicted, team player or whistleblower, charitable donation or personal certificates of deposit, admitted traffic violation or denial. I don't believe I can let this subject pass by, leaving my own conflicted emotions unconfessed. When Carl Sagan won the Pulitzer Prize for nonfiction in 1978, I dismissed it as a minor achievement for a scientist, scarcely worth listing. When I won the same prize the following year, it wondrously became a major literary award of which scientists should take special note. We are all genetic chimeras, at once saints and sinners, champions of the truth and hypocrites, not because humanity has failed to reach some foreordained religious or ideological ideal, but because of the way our species originated across millions of years of biological evolution. Until about 3 million years ago, the ancestors of Homo sapiens were mostly vegetarians, most likely wandering in groups from site to site where fruit, tubers, and other vegetable food could be harvested. Their brains were only slightly larger than those of modern chimpanzees. By no later than 500,000 years ago, however, groups of the ancestral species, Homo erectus, were maintaining campsites with controlled fire, the equivalent of nests, from which they foraged and returned with food, including a substantial portion of meat. Their brain size had increased to mid-sized between that of chimpanzees and modern Homo sapiens. The trend appears to have begun 1 million to 2 million years previously, when the earlier pre-human ancestor Homo habilis turned increasingly to meat in its diet. With groups crowded together at a single site and an advantage added by cooperative nest building and hunting, social intelligence grew along with the centers of memory and reasoning in the prefrontal cortex. Probably at this point, during that period, a conflict ensued between individual-level selection, with individuals competing with other individuals in the same group on the one side, and group-level selection with competition among groups on the other. The latter force promoted altruism and cooperation among all the group members. It led to innate group-wide morality and a sense of conscience and honor. The competition between the two forces can be succinctly expressed as follows. Within groups, selfish individuals beat altruistic individuals, but groups of altruists beat groups of selfish individuals. Or, risking oversimplification, individual selection promoted sin, while group selection promoted virtue. So it came to pass that humans are forever conflicted by their prehistory of multi-level selection. They are suspended in unstable and constantly changing positions between the two extreme forces that created us. We are unlikely to yield completely to either force as the ideal solution to our social and political turmoil. To give in completely to the instinctual urgings born from individual selection would be to dissolve society. At the opposite extreme, to surrender to the urgings from group selection would turn us into angelic robots, the outsized equivalent of ants. The eternal conflict is not God's test of humanity. It is not a machination of Satan. It is just the way things worked out. The conflict might be the only way in the entire universe that human-level intelligence and social organization can evolve. We will find a way eventually to live with our inborn turmoil, and perhaps find pleasure in viewing it as the primary source of our creativity. Thank you.